Hey, most millionaires are actually made through a process they have no idea is going on. Like, they have no idea it's running in the background and actually presently in all of us operating. And to be honest, if you are aware of this process, you understand this process, you'll be able to utilize it in a way that gives you the same kind of success you see so many other people using, but faster, more frequent. It'll actually come quicker. So if you want to be able to make that money, have that success, no matter what you choose to do, this will be the thing you want to pay attention to very closely. Now, what I do know is they're made through this process called the motor neuron system. Now, most of us have no idea what goes on. It's a part of our brain that helps us kind of push towards the next direction almost unconsciously. Like, it's a little nuance, but it can be something that's detrimental, but also something that's beneficial to us. Now, here's how it works. If you learn about this process, you understand kind of how this thing works. It's to break this thing down little by little, understand it. We're gonna do that today. I'm gonna give you a chance to understand what this is. Now, when this thing shows up, I want you to understand this concept where you might go, it's just this weird brain thing, this motor neurons. What is he talking about? Well, here's how I want you to think about this. If you ever seen somebody kick a wall or stub their toe, what do you feel? You feel the pain. You understand what it feels like. You see somebody burn their hand, you go, oof, because you can picture what it would be like. Someone gets hit in the face or hit in a car, or you see like something take place, like someone's falling out of a building. Think about those videos where you see people at the top of these buildings looking down. What happens? Your stomach starts to get a little spinny. And it's mostly because you can feel that. It's a mirroring of what you would naturally have as an experience, because your brain doesn't always know perception versus reality. So what happens, our brain sees something and it goes, ooh, I know what that feels like, and we feel that way. Now, this is something that can be positive and negative. Like, you can use it positively by going, man, I want that. I can feel what it's like to drive that car, to take that trip, to be in that place, to be with friends. Think about the marketing that you see. Most of the marketing that we typically see is a bunch of people having fun, doing cool things, and I go, man, I want to be there. I want to do this thing that they're doing, right? And so when you have this thought, it makes you desire it, makes you palpably feel this thing. Like, you can taste the food and smell the air and see the feeling of it. Like, it starts to get under your skin in a positive way. And so now we start looking at, okay, well, how do we use this process? How do we get this thing to be a positive force for us? Because to be honest, if you want to break through a threshold, you got to utilize this to your advantage. See, back when I was with 2013, like, I was broke in December. Like, I had to borrow money from people. It was a crazy situation. And what happened is I wanted to get to a new place, but I had to use that motor neuron system in a way I didn't even know I was using it to get to a point of success. And what I found was going through this journey, what I understood was this: whenever I have this motor neuron system and it's going in my head and I can picture what I want and I can connect myself to it, it's a benefit to me if I'm able to utilize it to connect to the awesomeness of what could be. However, that same system distracts most people. Like, there's actually studies, they put someone in a room, and what they do is they say, hey, while you have this mirroring thing going on, we're gonna turn it off, and they don't say anything to them, but they sit them there quiet by themselves, and they tell them, hey, do some work, and they're efficient, they're effective, they're productive, they get stuff done. Then what they do with somebody else, simple changes, they just put somebody else in the room. That's it. They don't even have them talk to them, they just put someone else in the room. And what happens is their efficiency, their effectiveness, their productivity diminishes, it depletes, and it's not a whole crazy drop, but it's at least like a 30% difference. So they're operating about 70-80%, because what happens is I'm now sitting here where I was focused before, dialed before, no distractions. My brain goes, what are they thinking of me? Am I making weird noises? What are they wearing? Am I wearing weird stuff? Are my shoes tied? Does my hair look okay? Like, how long we be in here? You're gonna be here for a while? We're gonna be leaving pretty soon? Like, we start mirroring what they might be mirroring of us, and all of a sudden we have this separation from pure focus. So we're not dialed in, we're not productive, things don't get done. And when you're a person who wants to put a camera in your building all the time, you always want to have people watching, look what I'm doing, world. What happens is, while it's not a person, you know it's gonna be a person later. So your brain's even processing more, what do I look like? How's my voice? How are my clothes? How am I gonna be perceived? And so when you can be focusing on your craft, mastering a skill set, being great at this, you're presently aware of what is going to be viewed later on, so your focus starts to diminish. You start, pulling away from being dialed in this one spot, so you lose out on a lot of stuff. Now, we're going to talk real quick about essentially 5 different things that I want you to pay attention to when it comes to this neuron system. The first one I want you to think about is this will help you improve your sales skills. When I talk about how it actually helps individuals who are in, successful, say millionaires, it helps them because it allows them to increase their sales skills, because one, that motor neuron system is mirroring, how is this person receiving my information? Am I being persuasive? Are they understanding what's going on? Are they confused? What kind of questions are they asking? How am I coming across? Do I come across confident? Because if so, they may buy it. If not, they may not, right? I want to be paying attention to this very heavily. And so what it does is it allows me to be consistently operating, but measuring and seeing how I am operating, which allows me to improve my actual sales skills. And as I'm paying attention to what they're doing, it's giving me a chance to really refine. The more I can refine, the better I can be in the long term, we'll call it. So it's a big piece, is understanding how do you get to the point of improving your sales skills, because those people who are millionaires, man, they have done some things that increase their ability to get revenue into their life, and it's usually based on some sales skill in some manner, even if it's selling yourself as a person to pay attention to and follow. So it's a big piece of it, right? Paying attention to that idea can help your sales sales skills. Number two, it can help you build better relationships. When I'm looking at, showing up in the world to build a network that allows me to do great things in the world, they say your network shows your net worth, right? Well, I want to build relationships, and if I can be presently aware of how I'm being perceived, how I'm being seen, what's coming and going in my life, and if I'm more, we'll call it aware of that, then what happens is I can mirror how someone might see me and adjust how I may show up to build a good relationship. I could be more empathetic, more communicative, less impatient, less judgy, we'll call it. And it gives me a different feel for how I do things, right? And also, if I'm a person that I can really master this motor neuron system and control it, meaning I can segment myself away from certain people and focus when I need to focus, turn it off, we'll call it a little bit, then I can rise to a level where I can see other individuals see me. If I'm doing well, I want to be at a certain level on the table, right? But I got to earn my seat at that table, which means I must learn how to be able to segment and turn that off and just focus on what's in front of me at times. Not have somebody in the room, no cameras, nobody, just that dark work. And so that's one piece of it, is it helps you build better relationships. It helps you build better businesses, better income, better salary, all that kind of stuff. Now, number three is understanding your customers' needs when it comes to business. If you can actually get to the point of understanding how they're viewing you, it gives you an edge. See, I need to be able to understand my customers' needs, not what I want them to want, but it's their needs, also their desires, right? Needs and desires are two different things, to be quite honest. People might need something, but desire something different. They will invest in what they desire more than when they'll invest in what they need. So what happens is, if you start thinking about this kind of understanding of how you serve your customers, if you can understand and think about how they are mirroring off of you, how they feel you, what they think, what they see, how they do things, you can actually be able to fulfill what is really kind of a key thing that Ritz Carlton does. It's called fulfilling a client's or customer's expressed and unexpressed needs. If you ever get a chance to go to a Ritz Carlton, you'll find that these individuals have these credo cards, and part of their credo is to fulfill an individual's or tenants or a customer, whatever you want to call it, their expressed and unexpressed needs. How do you think they do this? Like, they do this because they're able to pay attention and watch what someone's doing, how they're feeling, and serve this person in a way they never knew they needed to be served, or they never spoke out loud, but they know you saw them. It's a story about how somebody said, "Man, I love this spaghetti sauce. It's delicious." And one of the actual servers went and got this, canned it up, and brought them a free little can of the spaghetti sauce because they loved it so much. Simple, easy to do, but it was an unexpressed need, and they fulfilled it. They made them feel great. That was simply them putting something out and Ritz-Carlton mirroring back what would be great for them. It's very simple. Fulfill the needs, and then the brand grows. Everybody's happy. Now, number four is you improve team collaboration when you do this. When you focus on how people are feeling, how they're seeing, how they're operating, and you pay attention to what they're saying, what they're doing, where they want to be desired, where they want to be respected, what their motivations might be, it puts you in a really great position to start understanding how you can be of more benefit to people, how you can be of greater service to people. Because all of us want to be of great service. We want to be of great, we'll call it diligence to individuals, and our team, how we collaborate, is all based on how people feel as part of that unit. If you can feel how they're feeling and then address that, respect that, give ease, give pause, give grace, give apologies, then you actually get a chance to bring the team tighter together, and you can collaborate better and do more, to serve, to grow, to do whatever, meet your own goals. The last one is networking. Your network is your net worth. You know this, you've heard it before, it's nothing new, but that really comes with how do you show up in rooms and environments. If you think about it, there are sometimes that people go into rooms and they operate real wonky, like they're out there doing things, saying things that you're watching them and you look around the room to see who else notices this person's doing some off the wall things, right? And you'll catch eyes with that one person, you kind of give them a nod and they give you a nod, and like, we know that's my person, right? Because they understood what's going on, and I went out to the world and I said, who else is seeing this? And I go, they see it, and I brought it back to me, and we both go, we get it. So that person I'll find later on, have a conversation with, something simple, but that little thing helps me understand how to have this interaction with somebody. So this little part of your brain that's going on at all times, it's feeling people, understanding situations, feeling situations, and then from that, taking the information and creating something from it. It's a very powerful and very beneficial part of your psyche, your brain, your operating system. So utilize it. Take these different concepts, apply them to your life. You'll understand why millionaires are millionaires. They utilize this in ways they likely might not even be aware of. So maybe you share this with them so you can get a chance to understand how they're functioning. That's it. Check out this video up here. And as always, make sure you do the dark work to make shift happen.